If you own a Porsche, you know these cars hold their value like few others on the road. Many owners buy them as investments, expecting to sell for a profit down the line. But one thing separates owners who protect that value from those who watch it disappear. And that is how you warm up your car. The very first thing you need to understand before we even get to tip number 1 is the golden rule of Porsche warm-up. Your owner manual says it clearly. Do not warm up the engine when stationary. Drive off immediately. Avoid high engine speeds and full throttle until the engine has reached operating temperature. This applies to every modern Porsche out there. The 911, the Cayman, the Boxster, the Cayenne, the Panamera, all of them. The engineering reason behind this is simple and makes a lot of sense when you think about it. When you drive gently, you warm up everything at the same time. Your engine, your transmission, your differential, your suspension, all of these parts get heat flowing through them evenly at a similar rate. When you just sit there idling in your driveway or parking lot, you create uneven heating and hot spots that can cause real problems over time. Some parts get hot while others stay cold, and that mismatch creates stress on your components that adds up over months and years of ownership. When it comes time to sell, buyers and inspectors can tell the difference between an engine that was treated right and one that was abused from cold starts. Here is the other critical piece of information that most Porsche owners never learn. The temperature gauge you should be watching is your oil temperature, not your coolant temperature. This trips up so many people because we are all trained to watch the coolant gauges from driving regular cars our whole lives. Coolant gets to operating temperature in about 2 to 3 minutes. Oil takes 6 to 10 minutes of actual driving to reach the same point. Since oil touches the hottest parts inside your engine and protects all those moving metal surfaces when you push the car hard, you need to wait for proper oil temperature before you start having fun. The magic numbers are 180 degrees Fahrenheit minimum for spirited street driving and 200 degrees Fahrenheit for track use. Keep those numbers in your head because we're going to come back to them throughout this video. Now let's get into the 5 tips, starting with number 5 on our countdown. Tip number 5 is all about starting the car and driving immediately while keeping your RPMs low. This is where so many Porsche owners mess up because they have the wrong idea about what gentle treatment actually means. They think being gentle means sitting in the driveway, letting the car idle for 5 or 10 minutes. The truth is the exact opposite. Jake Raby from Flat 6 Innovations, one of the most respected Porsche engine builders in the entire world, says the same thing that Porsche says in their manuals. Start the engine, wait about 15 to 30 seconds for the oil to circulate and for the idle to settle down, then drive away gently. Extending idling actually hurts your engine because it warms things up unevenly, keeps oil pressure low, and leaves your transmission and differential completely cold while only your engine block gets warm. During the warm-up phase, you want to follow specific RPM limits based on your oil temperature. When the engine is cold, meaning your oil is below 160 degrees Fahrenheit, keep your revs below 2500 to 3000 RPM. Once your oil gets to around 160 degrees, you can push it up to 3500 or 4000 RPM safely. The 911 owner manual specifically tells you never to go above 4500 RPM before your engine reaches full operating temperature. If you have a GT3, you have a helpful blue engine indicator light on your dashboard that makes this easy to track. When that light is on, stay below 4000 RPM. Once it turns off, you know you are good to go and the engine is ready for more. GT3 models hold their value incredibly well, and proper warm-up habits are part of what keeps these cars commanding premium prices on the used market. The science behind this is straightforward. When you drive under light load, you create heat through combustion, while your oil pump circulates oil throughout the entire engine. At idle, your engine makes very little heat while most of your oil just sits in the oil sump with barely any circulation pressure. You are doing the opposite of what you want when you let your Porsche sit there idling. The oil pump works harder when you are actually driving, pushing oil through all the passages and galleries in your engine block and cylinder heads. If this is helping you out, smash that like button and subscribe for more. Tip number 4 is about monitoring your oil temperature instead of your coolant temperature. This is probably the most common mistake Porsche owners make, and it's easy to understand why. Most cars have a coolant gauge right in front of you, and most of us grew up learning to watch that gauge. But Porsche coolant gauges are designed in a tricky way that can fool you. They are what engineers call buffered. The gauge shows 194 degrees Fahrenheit across an actual temperature range from about 185 degrees all the way up to 221 degrees. The needle just sits there in the same spot across a wide range of actual temperatures. The needle only moves if your temperature goes above 230 degrees or so. This means your coolant gauge can look totally normal while your car is nowhere near ready for hard driving. Your oil temperature is the real story of what is happening inside your engine. Here are the thresholds you need to memorize if you want to take care of your Porsche properly. Below 160 degrees Fahrenheit means your engine is cold. This is the blue indicator zone on models that have that feature. At 180 degrees Fahrenheit, you are safe for normal spirited driving on public roads. Between 194 and 212 degrees Fahrenheit is full operating temperature, where all of your performance is available. Between 225 and 250 degrees Fahrenheit is totally normal during enthusiastic driving. Between 275 and 290 degrees Fahrenheit is acceptable during track sessions, according to Porsche engineers. Above 300 degrees Fahrenheit is the danger zone, where you need to back off immediately and let things cool down. If you drive a 718 Cayman or Boxster, you have it easy because there is a digital oil temperature display right there for you. On 911 models with analog gauges, you need to learn where your needle sits at operating temperature. On most 911s, the 8 o'clock position on your oil temperature gauge means you are at around 194 degrees Fahrenheit. Spend some time getting familiar with your specific car so you always know exactly where you stand. Tip number 3 is specifically for owners of air-cooled Porsches. And if you drive one of these classics, pay close attention because this really matters for keeping your engine healthy and protecting your investment. Air-cooled Porsches have been appreciating in value for years, and a well-maintained engine is the difference between a six-figure sale and a car that sits on the market. Air-cooled Porsches include the 911 models made through 1998, the 356, the 912, and the 914. These engines need way more patience during warm-up because the oil in these cars does double duty. It works as your lubricant and as your coolant at the same time. There is no separate water cooling system handling temperature management like in newer cars. These engines hold around 11 liters of oil that absolutely must be thoroughly warmed before you start driving hard. There is a famous temperature rule in the air-cooled community that comes from Bruce Anderson, and it goes like this. 230 degrees Fahrenheit is warm, 240 degrees is hot, and 250 degrees is too hot. The oil thermostat in your air-cooled Porsche opens at 188 degrees on 964 models and 181 degrees on 993 models. Only after your oil hits these temperatures does it actually start flowing through the front oil cooler where temperature gets regulated properly. Before that thermostat opens, your oil is just circulating internally without any real cooling happening to manage the heat. If you own an air-cooled Porsche, keep your revs below 3,000 RPM until your oil reaches 200 degrees Fahrenheit. This usually takes about 6 to 8 minutes of gentle driving. These engines are more sensitive to cold start abuse for a couple of important reasons. First, the ambient temperature outside directly affects your engine temperature since there is no water cooling system to buffer things. Second, the manufacturing tolerances in these older engines are tighter, which means the metal parts need proper thermal expansion before they can safely handle high RPM. For owners of turbocharged, air-cooled models like the 930, you also need a cool-down routine after hard driving. Either drive your final mile without getting into boost at all, or sit in idle for about 2 minutes before you shut the engine off. If you shut down immediately after pushing the turbo hard, the oil in your turbo bearings can crystallize and cause premature wear that shortens the life of your turbocharger. This is especially important because turbo replacements are expensive and the damage happens invisibly until it is too late. You will not know anything is wrong until you need a full turbo rebuild or replacement. Tip number 2 focuses on track driving and why it demands extended warm-up of all your systems. When you are on a track, every warm-up requirement gets amplified compared to street driving. On public roads, you have some flexibility once your oil hits 180 degrees. On the track, you need your oil at 200 to 210 degrees Fahrenheit before you start pushing hard. And honestly, the engine is just the beginning of what you need to think about when preparing for a track session. Your transmission needs warm-up time too, especially if you have a PDK-equipped Porsche. The PDK transmission has special cold temperature shift mapping that changes how it behaves when transmission fluid is below 140 degrees Fahrenheit. If you jump into Sport or Sport Plus mode with a cold transmission, do not expect crisp responses from the gearbox. Give it several minutes of gentle driving first. The shift points and response times are deliberately softened when the transmission is cold to protect the internal components from harsh engagement. Tire warm-up is something a lot of people completely overlook, and it can actually be dangerous if you ignore it on a track day. Cold tires give you somewhere between 30 and 50% less grip compared to properly heated tires. That is a massive difference when you're braking hard for a corner at triple-digit speeds. When you first get on track, spend your first 2 or 3 laps at about 70 to 85% of your pace. Build heat progressively by weaving slightly and using progressive braking throughout the lap. Set your cold tire pressures about 8 to 10 psi below your target hot pressure because the heat from driving will naturally increase your pressures during the session. Check your pressures after a few laps and adjust as needed to hit your targets. Brake warm-up follows the same idea. Cold brakes have way less stopping power than hot brakes that are in their operating window. Do several moderate to hard stops that build progressively before you expect your brakes to perform at their best. Track brake pads work best at surface temperatures between 300 and 600 degrees Fahrenheit. If you go into turn 1 on a cold track day expecting full braking performance, you might be in for a scary surprise. The pedal will feel soft and the car will take longer to stop. Here is something that experienced track drivers know that newer drivers often skip or forget about. A cool-down lap is just as important as a warm-up lap. Always spend your final lap at about 50% pace to bring temperatures down before you park the car. Never apply your parking brake right after hot laps because the heat soaking from your calipers into your rotors can warp them and create vibrations you will feel on the street later. Some experienced drivers even roll their car forward or backward slightly after parking to prevent flat spots from forming on the rotors while they are still hot. These small habits make a big difference in how long your brake components last. Tip number 1. The most important tip of all is to avoid these 5 common mistakes that cause real damage to Porsche engines every single day. These mistakes kill resale value faster than almost anything else because they leave evidence that any experienced buyer or pre-purchase inspector will find. The first mistake is over-revving on a cold start. This causes more damage than almost anything else you can do to your engine. One owner on the Porsche forums documented blowing their air oil separator after redlining a cold engine. That is a $120 part that takes over 4 hours of labor to replace. Cold oil simply cannot protect metal against metal contact at high RPM because it's too thick to flow into all the tight clearances where protection is needed. Your engine components also have not expanded to their proper tolerances yet when everything is cold. Wait for that oil temperature to come up before you get into the higher rev ranges. The second mistake is idling too long. This seems like the safe and protective thing to do, but it actually harms your engine in multiple ways that add up over time. Extended idling creates condensation inside your crankcase. It builds hot spots from uneven heating throughout the engine. It leaves your transmission and differential cold while your engine gets warm. Your oil needs to reach 212 degrees Fahrenheit or higher to vaporize all the accumulated water inside your engine. You almost never hit that temperature through idling alone. You need to actually drive the car to get there. The third mistake is taking short trips without ever completing a full heat cycle. If your Porsche never reaches full operating temperature, moisture builds up throughout your engine and exhaust system. This corrodes your mufflers from the inside out and contaminates your oil over time. A pre-purchase inspection will reveal this kind of neglect immediately, and it will cost you thousands when you try to sell. Make sure your car reaches full operating temperature on a regular basis, especially if most of your driving involves short commutes around town. Take it out for a longer drive at least once a week to burn off all that accumulated moisture. The fourth mistake is ignoring the thermal benefits of Sport mode. When you switch to Sport or Sport Plus mode, your Porsche activates additional cooling systems that run more aggressively. These modes actually run your oil temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees Celsius cooler than normal mode. This is useful during spirited driving because it gives you more thermal headroom before you hit dangerous temperature levels. Use this feature when you know you're going to be driving hard. The fifth mistake is assuming your car is warmed up just because the gauges look normal. Even when your oil reaches temperature, the metal components inside your engine may not have fully expanded to their operating tolerances yet. The standard guidance of waiting until oil shows 180 degrees Fahrenheit or higher gives you margin for this final thermal equilibrium to happen. Do not rush it. Give your car that extra minute or two to be completely ready.